Welcome to our fireside chat titled Simplify and Secure: How Business Can Achieve Smarter Network Management Without Complexity. Today, we will explore how enterprises can strike the balance between a streamlined network management and robust security in an ever-evolving digital landscape. Joining us are two experts in this field. We have Evaristo Amaro, CTO of Calculus Business Solutions, and we also have Mr. Samir Kanse, CBO of Cnergee Technologies. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Evaristo. Welcome, Samir.
Excited to be here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Ravita. Thanks.
So let's start with some of the challenges that enterprises are facing today. Network management has become increasingly complex as businesses adopt hybrid cloud models, IoT and remote work. Evaristo, what is driving this complexity?
Oh, thank you very much. Great question. See, the sheer scale and the diversity of devices, different applications, multiple data flows, the increase of bandwidth and requirements are driving this complexity, right? Enterprise are no longer one shop or one building where you have everything on your IT network. You have not just one network, you have multiple networks because you have a decentralized network, and you need to manage from some place, right? On top of that, if you have edge computing, multiple cloud environments, and that concept that you can access any application or anything from one single from anywhere that you are. So that is that's driving this complexity, right? Decentralization is the exact point where you will find this complexity, right? Because it's no longer one place. You need to manage multiple things in multiple places at the same time.
Yeah, that's true. And Samir, from a security standpoint, does this complexity pose any additional risks?
Yeah, so the classic example of us doing this fireside chat, there is no fire, we are not sitting together. We are all sitting from different places and on different devices. So all these devices and being able to access them remotely, and not only just the devices, but increasingly IoT devices coming into play and sensors coming into play, all of this just increases the attack surface. You have so many disparate points to look at and disparate locations to look at, and that just exponentially increases the risk. And of course, it's easy to say, oh, let's lock down everything, let's lock down the ports and let's do everything. But then that's going to compromise the user experience, the employee experience. So the key lies in providing security, but without impacting user experience and their productivity. So that, I think, is a key risk today.
Okay. And Evaristo, what kind of role does technologies like SD-WAN, for example, play in this type of, I mean, talking about how enterprises can start to simplify, what is the role that SD-WAN plays in this place?
Well, SD-WAN is not only one thing, right? It's a game changer. We can say that SD-WAN is the real technology gathering all this complexity because it abstracts all the complexity. It puts whatever people might think it's complex to manage. There were multiple technologies in the past were very complicated to manage and maintain. So SD-WAN, what it does, it abstracts this complexity, and it enabled a centralized management for distributed networks, right? Whatever I was telling before, with SD-WAN, you can address that and do it in a very easy way because you can automate traffic, you can ensure application performance, you can do a lot of things. You have multiple mechanisms there that it will help you with that. So it's a real game changer. And also, what it's a key point is that it can be integrated with existing tools. Whatever you have already in terms of connectivity or routing or whatever device you have in place, call it whatever, IoT or as Samir said, or anything, it's going to help the IT teams to do this transition seamlessly, right? It's going to be easier for them to manage this complex world. That's what SD-WAN is the key, right?
Oh, yes. And you were talking about automation. What about Samir, what about automation and AI? Are these realistic solutions for simplifying network management?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, when it comes to network management, traditionally, people have been used to doing extremely micromanagement of networks, which means you define the routes, you define the policies, sometimes by application, by location. And what some of these new automation tools around SD-WAN enable you to do is to uh, allow you to have intent-aware networks, where the
Mhm.
AI within the software layer allows you to manage repetitive tasks, manage anomalies without having to define specific intent. You can just say that I need a network, I need my application to have sub 50 millisecond latency. You don't need to then define routes. The AI will determine the optimized routing, the optimized paths to take to achieve that latency. And that is one example of AI. And all this ultimately leads to reduced manual intervention, reduced errors, and improves efficiency, right? So that's what AI and automation will lead to.
And talking about security specifically, Samir, many people believe that enhanced security means having more layers and thus more complexity. So is there a
Yeah.
way to secure networks without making them harder to manage?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, zero trust has been the buzzword for quite a long time, but often zero trust means exactly what you said, Lupita. People keep adding more and more layers to enable zero trust. And in fact, each of that layers adds more complexity without necessarily adding value, right? Because your security environment today is no longer static. When we were in, 10 years back, we were in an MPLS environment. The whole security infrastructure was static. You defined rules once, and that is how you operate. But today, every minute, every second, your security requirements change, and they have to adapt to new requirements. And that is where a SASE architecture, where you are looking at the edge, integrating with network and application security in a single layer and platform, is extremely essential. So, to sum up, just adding more and more layers just to enforce it goes back to the thing I said. You are secure, but you're not giving a great user experience. So if you want to give great user experience and enable security, yes, zero trust is required. You need to be at the edge, but it should be a single platform approach across multiple layers, which offers the security.
Yes. And Evaristo, from your point of view, how do you see network security evolving in the next few years?
Well, security will evolve in a way. Two things I can think of, right? First, the security is going to be built in the network fabric itself, right? Our my friend here, Samir, it's called secure by design. So since the root, we
Yes.
are going to build the security, right?
All
And the
right.
second thing is to raise collaborative threat intelligence. That means that all the devices will share information. Networks will become smarter. They will identify, mitigate threats. So AI also has a very important role in this, right? Because once the device itself, I mean, the edge device or the edge application is able to be secure and it can handle all these threats, it can just communicate that to the others, right? That's the beauty of also have a centralized management for multiple networks. Network can talk between them and do some intelligence and solve threats in a better way, right? So sharing that information across industries, networks, devices, and stuff will allow us to respond to attacks in a more effectively way, right? And faster. That's what is needed right now, right? Hackers are
Right.
faster than devices today, right? So that's the idea of putting it difficult for them from now on, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. And well, before we wrap up, this has been, to be honest, a very fascinating discussion. But before we wrap up, I'd like to hear some closing thoughts. What's one key takeaway for enterprises looking to simplify and secure their networks? Samir, please.
Yeah. So I think enterprises need to today look at simplicity, not in terms of the tools have to be simple, but they have to look at ways to simplify the security architecture such that they can define it on an end-to-end basis. Yes, zero trust, yes, SASE, yes, SD-WAN will solve your problems. But if each of these are disparate elements working independently, then it becomes complex. If there is a way to integrate all of this into a single platform enabled with an AI and machine learning fabric, then it becomes a simplified architecture to implement. And as Evaristo said, stay ahead of the hackers who are moving at lightning speed.
That's fascinating. That's very interesting. And Evaristo, how do you think the security is going to be making a very impactful way, at least for next year? What would you recommend to all the enterprises to leverage and to take into account when they're planning, for example?
Yeah, first of all, we need to start with a clear understanding of the network needs, right? What is your network? What your requirement? What are your applications running? What are the dependencies on each application and all that? So a clear understanding of your network is very important. And then to build then a roadmap that aligns with the business goals, right? Because see, it doesn't matter if you want to do it to have a very complex network with a lot of things if you cannot access some of your critical applications, or at some point of time will be difficult to have a very good performance on those, right? So as I used to say when I was in college, that methodology of the keys methodology is keep it simple, right? Take the technologies that work, SD-WAN and automation, and align to your business goals, right? So that's for me, is that the key for the future, right?
Well, thank you so much. Any additional thought you want to add to close this section?
Well, we are here to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. A lot of things we discussed are some of the solutions that both me and Evaristo have worked on, and we'll be happy to share with people on actually case studies or how to implement some of these things.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Samir. Thank you both for these insights, and thanks a lot to our audience for joining us today. Simplifying and securing enterprise network is actually a journey, but with the right mindset, it's absolutely achievable. So thank you so much for joining us today, and have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thanks. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Bye, Samir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye, Evaristo.